Thanks for joining us for part 2 of our workshop series on making peace with food. In part 1, we discussed some of the reasons that have led to rampant food guilt in American society, primarily blaming certain types of foods for weight gain, blaming weight for health problems, and misunderstanding both the difference between causation and correlation, as well as the complex nature of health. We also looked at 3 negative consequences of feeling guilty about food: higher levels of stress, uncontrollable cravings, and the lower levels of self-trust around food. All of these factors can contribute to restricting food intake, or deprivation, and unfortunately this can lead to an even more serious problem, something we call the restrict-binge cycle. The restrict-binge cycle looks like this. Restricting food often leads to feelings of deprivation, and when people have been deprived long enough, they often succumb to eating the forbidden food. Ironically, the intensity of the desire to eat this food, combined with fear they may never eat it again, can result in an intense, out-of-control eating experience, or binge, which does not feel pleasant physically or emotionally. Sadly, it also reinforces the belief that they cannot be trusted with that food, and they usually begin restricting again. Many people stay trapped in the cycle of restricting and binging because they blame themselves when it doesn't work. But food restriction is actually what's to blame for this cycle. So if restricting food doesn't work, what does? Normalizing food. Normalizing means making something more regular. When a food is forbidden, it can be exciting or even scary to eat it. But the more you get used to it, the more the excitement fades. Normalizing food is a positive step in avoiding the restrict-binge cycle because it removes the intense emotions around the eating experience. Making peace with certain foods means that those foods will never be forbidden again, and you can choose to eat them when they sound good to you, on your terms, and in a way that feels good in your body. Keep in mind, the goal of normalization is not to make yourself sick of eating a certain food, but just to remove the restriction and the resulting stress. Without normalization, the attention is placed on the food rather than on having a relaxed, enjoyable experience with it. But when you view all food as good and give yourself permission to eat whatever you want, you are free to explore and choose what is most satisfying to you. Our last note for today is to beware of the free-for-all mindset, which is eating whatever I want, whenever I want, as much as I want. But making peace with food is not a justification for ignoring your body's signals. Instead, consider what will help you to care for your body and build self-trust. It feels good to eat satisfying and pleasing food without guilt. It does not feel good to eat without considering your body's hunger and fullness cues, or to eat food that makes you feel sick. What would it mean to give yourself unconditional permission to eat all types of food? If you feel uncertain or you don't know where to start, let us know. We can help you with our personal coaching program or guide you to other self-directed resources where you can learn more. I'm Christy from NuStart. Thanks for watching.